Hello, this is Gail Fry, and this is EDL 850, Module 12, Case Study Narrative, Copyright and the Computer, Regulations Governing Technology. Keith Sample is the principal in a rural K-8 school. There are approximately 420 students. The support for the school mainly comes from a small state allocation, plus PTA does do a fundraiser, and they've recently purchased 20 new computers. Miss Lynn, the librarian and media specialist, is prioritizing the list of software programs. And she also is ordering some software programs, and she set up a computer lab. And the teachers are now going to that computer lab and using it. But after 4 months of using the computer lab, some of the teachers approach Miss Lynn and they want her to make copies of some of the software programs so they can use it in their classroom. So Miss Lynn does this. She goes and shares those copies with the teachers. One teacher in particular, Mrs. Brandon, is concerned because of violation of copyrights. She does go to Mr. Sample, the principal, and lets him know. And he then goes to Miss Lynn and tells her that he likes her idea. However, because he knows that she's trying to save money, so she's very resourceful. However, she is violating copyright laws. And so then Miss Lynn does not seem to understand the consequences, thinking that she's doing the right thing and that no one will ever know. So the legal and ethical issues. Legal is that Mrs. Lynn has unknowingly committed copyright infringement. It's not always required copyright is not always required in order for material to be protected, and it's automatically protected by copyright as soon as it's put in tangible form. Ethics in this scenario, to me, it's clear that Ms. Lynn is not aware of copyright laws and possibly copyright infringement and the ramifications that go with it. Her lack of knowledge has caused her to be unconcerned with the ethical part of using someone else's work without permission. To violate copyright because a person has little chance of being caught is legally and ethically and of course morally wrong. And our students are watching us, and we are their role models. Taking what isn't ours, that's copyrighted material, is against the law. What has happened? Staff at a small rural school have not implemented safe use of copyright and have committed copyright infringement and broken the law. Synthesizing the facts known and unknown, we know that Keith Sample is the principal at a small rural school. He's just found out that some of his staff have committed the copyright violations. Miss Lynn, the librarian and media specialist, unknowingly has committed copyright infringement. Once told about it, she continues to think it was best for the school because it saved them money. The teachers involved requested copies and asked Miss Lynn to make those copies. Mrs. Brandon refused to take those because she was concerned about copyright infringement. The PTA president was also someone that helped the library and media specialist make those copies of the technology. The school is a small rural school. It received funds to buy technology. They have a computer lab set up, and after 4 months, the computer lab has been successful, but some of the teachers want to have those computer programs in their rooms. The place is a K-8 school with 420 students. It's rural and receives small state allocations. How principals can balance the support from parents with how can principals balance support from parents with interference with school operations? Parent support is crucial, in my opinion, in running a school, but also being honest with them about what, in this situation, about the copyright and how important it is not to do that, because that is legally and ethically wrong, letting them know. In general, principals need to build positive relationships with parents, and sometimes this can become an issue if parents unknowingly overstep with school operations. But as a principal, we have the duty to protect our school and our staff and our students. Copyright infringement could become a huge issue and a financial burden on the school. So again, having a principal who's open and honest about the copyright laws, as well as making sure all staff, including parents and volunteers, are aware of that, can help balance the support and interference aspect. Section 4. So the unknown, Mr. Sample, we don't know for sure if he's aware of the copyright laws. We don't know how he's going to handle this situation with Miss Lynn and how he's going to communicated to his staff about copyright laws. Miss Lynn, we're not sure how she's going to collect and destroy all the copyright materials. The teachers, how are they going to react to the being their copyright material being taken away? Mrs. Brandon, is she going to notify someone to higher authority over this? And the PTA president, is she aware of the copyright laws? The program, why did the teachers feel like they needed to have the technology in the rooms and when they already had it in the technology lab? And does the school receive a lot of parental support? Does the school require yearly training on copyright or copyright laws available to staff? Copyright infringement took place at this small rural school. Mr. Sample, the principal, was made aware of it by a staff member who refused to take and use the copyrighted material. Mr. Sample then spoke to Mrs. Lynn. She was only made aware of it by Mrs. Brandon and now by Mr. Sample. Mr. Sample. Mr. Samples told her that she needs to get rid of all the copyrighted material. Mrs. Lynn still did not appear to understand the consequences. Mr. Sample and stated to Mr. Sample that she doesn't think anyone will know or even care about the copyright infringement. Mr. Sample will need to evaluate the situation and how he can help the staff understand the importance of copyright protection. Options: do nothing, terminate staff involved, terminate only Mrs. Lynn because she made the copies, or make sure items are taken back and staff is trained. Consequences of doing nothing: huge financial consequences as well as legal. Termination of staff, that means that maybe you're going to lose some great staff just because they weren't educated on copyright laws. Same with Miss Lynn. She may be this great person. It sounds like she's very committed to the school. And then making sure the items are taken back and staff is trained would be another one. And that would be training staff after all items are taken back. Evaluate. If you do nothing, again, these people that, or if you do nothing, if terminating staff involved or, only Mrs. Lynn, you're going to probably have some legal consequences for sure. And you may lose some great staff. The other option of training all the staff on the importance of copyright laws and having the laws posted by all the copy machines and revisiting this training on more than just a yearly basis would be an option as well. And then new staff could be trained as well as they come in. I would choose the training of all staff, and I think that's the best decision. It's the least negative consequences on the school as a whole. And then to implement that, again, this semester has taught me so much about what I have not been aware of as a teacher. Unfortunately, some of our topics this semester have not been covered in my training in the 10 years I've been in the district. If some of them they have only been touched on and not made an impact on staff learning them. A lot of these topics are touched on in employee handbooks, but a lot of people don't look through the handbooks very thoroughly. Policies and procedures in a school that want to prevent copyright infringement, along with many other situations, should provide and promote yearly training. And to me, more than that, the training should be over specific examples of what copyright infringement is and how to avoid it. This should be something if a parental volunteer are making copies that they should be made aware of. All the copy machines should have specific guidelines by them. If it's computer software that's being copied from a teacher and that teacher had a parent help her copy, if teachers are trained on copyright protection, that's not going to happen. Policies should establish an atmosphere of expected compliance. After trainings are completed, then everyone should be signing a form saying they've completed this training. And that's the end of my presentation. Thank you so much.